Hello and welcome, welcome, welcome. So sweet to come together. Human beings coming together to discover that we have more options available to us. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Coming together to notice these options, to explore, to discover for ourselves. Coming together to also discover how it is we don't notice the options available to us. So sweet that we get to learn more about who we are and how the mind works. So in Satsang, hello beloveds online, also welcome to this human beautiful Satsang. And Satsang, also so sweet to explore what we usually don't notice. And to explore how it is we don't notice what we usually don't notice. And to maybe consider what it would be like if in my everyday life I notice what I don't notice. And so, what is it that as a species we supposedly don't notice? With all of our attention on the amazing power and activity of mind, all of our attention on the education of things that are separate, someone who is separate, this education of information and concepts and ideas and theories and facts and truths. There appears to be some kind of distortion in our perception and our experience together. This distortion includes what I call the tres amigos, the three amigos of identity, time, and cause and effect. And we usually experience our world through a sense of identity. So it's like one identity sitting with a bunch of other identities. And time, how much time we have, when did this start, how long is this going to start, what is this going to do for my next second? Is it going to alter something in the next second? Is there going to be more peace in the next second? Is there going to be more joy in the next second? Am I going to be more relaxed in the next second? And then let's say I go home, and then if I'm home, and then if I'm focused on other things, is this going to happen? Is that going to happen? Identity, time, and cause and effect. Oh, it's like a suffering burrito. With smothered burrito. Smothered suffering burrito. Nothing wrong with this suffering burrito. Nothing wrong with it. It's not so big to cause infinite indigestion. It's not so big to cause any kind of real constipation. It's not so big to loosen up anything, in an uncomfortable kind of way. It's it's still, even though it's seems like a lot, smothered suffering burrito, it's still in a moment of truth telling, but a thought, an appearance that has a beginning, middle, and end. It's still a mirage with no independent nature, no true substance to it, just appearing to have a substance to it. And in this invitation, it's to notice what's closer than the burrito. Okay. uh, When we pay so much attention to the activity of mind, we don't notice that which gives mind its power. We simply just don't notice the rest that is, the peace that is, the every atom in its place that is, the every thought in its place that is, every dream in its place that is. We don't notice the bottomless that is, the never being perturbed, disturbed, interrupted. Rest is our being, our nature, our right where we are-ness, our ordinary radiant self, closer than every spiritual experience, closer than every astral projection, closer than every lucid dream, closer than any appearance of a world ascending into any kind of D vitamin, 5D, 7D, 12D, 4D. This effortless, ah, or as my sweet friend Michael Bazookas calls it, gosh, of being. This, ah. So I invite you for a moment to not be in the usual relationship with the moment, and to, for this moment, consider opening. Even if you need to open like this with your body, put your hands out, open your palms, let your belly relax, let your feet relax, just notice where your hands are, where your feet are. And for a moment, not have to be engaged in trying to reach for something or keep something at bay. If that activity is still present, recognize it as the innocent activity of mind. That doesn't need to change. But just for a moment, something deeper. Is there a part of you that isn't looking to protect itself or defend itself? Is there a part of you that's not reaching pleasure and trying to keep pain? Is there a part of you that is at peace just as it is? That is okay just as it is. Maybe you'd notice a hint of delight just as it is. A sweet way to turn up the volume of this permission, of this ease of being, essence, this wholeness, this fundamental well being of who we are, is to allow the content of awareness to be as it is. When we're engaged in tres amigos of suffering and our suffering smothered burrito, trying to rearrange the furniture in the prison cell. Oh, fun. We're always trying to mix that shit up. Still eating that burrito, stuffing it down our face and trying to stuff that burrito down everyone else's face too. You will see things. Innocent. The activity of mind. Nothing about it needs to change. Mind would have us believe that mind needs to change. Do you get how that would benefit mind? Mind to think that it needs to change? Do you get how that would be beneficial for the life of something called the mind to keep reifying this idea that we need to change the mind? Yeah. Yes. And is there something that's okay, even if mind never gets better? Is there something here that's already at ease, even if the trauma never undoes itself? Even if the beliefs never turn into the most amazing beliefs anyone could ever have, even better than Esther Hicks' beliefs. Is there something here already at peace? What's so sweet is as we emphasize the already okayness, the already fundamental well-being of what is, as a casualty, as a consequence, mind finds rest. And mind is available for succulent perceptions and viewpoints and beliefs and ideas and creativity and delights and poetry and art and brilliance and wisdom and innovation and solutions. But to stop, all of existence gets to sink down into the depths. Nourished, replenished. A nourishment that reveals nothing ever needing to be nourished. A refreshment that reveals nothing ever needs to be refreshed. Just as is the roar of phenomena, the roar of existence here, right where you sit, full on shine of being. If you feel into throughout history, who has had your favorite flavor of shine of being? Who is it? For me, it's Richard Simmons. But it's amazing feeling too. I love me some. It's true and it's not that true. And of course, we have our spiritual greats. Let's say if you resonate with Maharshi or Nisargadatta or Jesus or Buddha or Allah, Krishna, Mohammed, Sai Baba, Shirdi Sai Baba, Ananda Mayama, Muktananda, Ama, Or if you feel into the deities, the Lakshmis and the Kalis and the Vishnus, that shine is your shine. Your shine is my shine, and my shine is your shine. Same shine, life shine, alive shine, existence shine. Imagine, consider mind is but a facet of that shine, a facet of that shine. The world, a facet of that shine, rays of that shine. It's like the sun experiencing itself. And not one ray is better than another ray. The sun isn't attempting to alter the rays, extend the rays, or short, or readjust the rays. Inseparable, all outshining. Aliveness of the simplicity of your right where you are-ness, just as it is. All awareness included. Everyday awareness, tying shoe awareness, making tea awareness, out-of-body experience awareness, lucid dream awareness, ayahuasca awareness, iboga awareness, spiritual experience awareness, all is one awareness, near-death experience awareness, tunnel awareness, light awareness, Carolan awareness. This house is clean awareness. This isn't about a special awareness, beloveds, or an awareness you need to reach, or awareness you need to finally get to once you spit, find gravity, and dig your way out of the avalanche of phenomena. This is awareness of awareness, everyday, ordinary, just as you are, that which has never come and gone, so utterly here, we don't notice it, so utterly at peace, utterly at ease, ever present throughout all the ups and all the downs, everything in between, stable, reliable, here, stable, reliable, here, the shine of you, the shine of you, closer than concepts of birth and death, closer than all the spiritual concepts in every book that has ever been written by every ascended master in every realm. More simple than any crystal, than any chakra, more simple, more simple. Delighted with all appearance of every crystal and every chakra and every adventure and every realm and every dimension and every density and every appearance, all appearance, all appearance, each equally announcing the presence of this wholeness that is. Not one appearance announcing greater than any other appearance. Each one saying awareness here. Notice on your direct experience, whatever it is you're aware of now or whatever it is you've been aware of throughout the day, whether it be a Q-tip or at the grocery store, opening your wallet, getting in your car, closing the door, a scratch on the elbow, a deep sense of, all is well, and oh shit, what am I going to do? This is my limited, this is all I have to my name. This is all that I have to work with. Oh, this means that regarding a past or a future. Announce an awareness that is just here. not concerned, full. And this is a sweet option we have as everyday human beings. You know, I love how we have the beautiful illustrations of a past that make enlightenment, awakening out to be so mysterious and romantic and enchanting and maybe only happening to those born under some auspicious star, maybe only happening to those who's fasted for 40 days and 40 nights, maybe only available to those who slept in a cave or meditated in a cave for 60 years. Maybe only those who remembered all past lives, who remembered. Not so, not true, not so, not so, not true. More simple, closer, just as we are in these times, with these clothes and these Jerusalem cruisers and these things that we eat and these things that we drink. And whatever the context of our explorations, an enlightened society, an enlightened world, an awakened society and a world, a culture of luminosity, a culture of generosity. How sweet that we can consider, acknowledge, devote our lives to, recognize, firm, open to, that it's here, right here, where we are, where we sit, where we stand, where we lie. The fullness of this awakened society, not just the seed of an awakened society, not just the seed of an enlightened culture, but the fullness. The whole world is embraced in the effulgence of your surrender, of your light, of your being, of your presence, of your right where you are-ness. Your presence just as it is, not an expanded presence, not just an expanded presence. The presence can feel like a tiny little tic-tac, and it freshens the breath of all phenomena. Just as you are. Where does this world happen? Where's the only place this world has ever happened? The aware stability that you are. Where is this room happening right now? Where is the screen happening? Where is the space happening? Where are the stars happening? Where are all of these theologies and philosophies and amazing stories and horrible stories? Where is this whole shebang happening? For a moment, notice. We have such an allegiance to all these assumptions about other people. No such thing. How exciting to seem like that's the case. But it's also everyday and just as normal as what's a normal thing? Like a cracker. Plain ass cracker. To discover, oh wow, I don't have to live my life through the lens that there is something called other. And it's possible that even in that full on generosity, full on kindness, full on consent, it's yourself, just the sweetest, kindest willingness and delight for every facet of yourself to want what they want, to live how they live, to dream what they dream, to reach for what they reach for, to say yes when it's yes, to say no when it's no. It's like so sweet, this option of love. humanity and love with itself. Some of us already love everybody. And it's so perfect if that's a secret. And how sweet to discover, oh, wow, everyone already loves everyone, and no one ever has to know it. But it's funny what happens in the presence of someone who knows it. It's sweet the way the mirage responds to, and I love you just as you are. As a consequence, not as a goal. All right, before I continue, anyone like to share something or explore something? Or did anything ring true? Anything ring ridiculous? There's a little microphone right by there for the beloveds at home. And beloveds at home, if you'd like to share something or explore something, feel free to write it in the text. Hi.
Hi, as long as it's right here.
I love it. I love it. I love
Lately, I could use some guidance on that to make
Yeah.
it true what you just painted or brought into the room.
Yeah.
Like, I notice a lot that I'm very engaged with my head movies.
Beautiful. Uh-huh.
They always plan and they receive intuition and
Yeah.
but if I want to be, for instance, right here and do the relaxations, I don't need another movie here. But you
Right.
say everything is perfect anyway. So what would be the best relationship to these ongoing movies, which I'm not against them, but they're so ongoing.
Right. So
Even during meditation, I don't really do whatever the thing is. I always fall back into another movie.
I love
They're
it.
good movies.
I love that so much.
But they're loving movies. What I do for somebody, but I turn it off.
So wonderful. Right. So maybe there's like another movie that has the assumption that it'd like to turn it off or be good to turn it off. And for a moment, let's imagine that there's never been an off button and see how much space there is for all the movies and all the appearances. Lots, right? And now let's feel into this space. What's the relationship that this space has with whatever appears? This space has no problems with the movies. No. Yay. And so it's really sweet. We start recognizing that we can be here as this space. You want to? Mm-hmm.
I just want to say it also in other words. When I'm here with you and with your guidance, it's like that's the magnet. And I like to be where that magnet magnetizes me to be.
Yeah.
When I don't have such a strong magnet out there, I magnetize to the movies. And I know I prefer this. So that's actually my quest.
I so hear that. Yeah. So then it's really sweet what's coming together in Satsang. It's like we discover these options and it's like a little bit of a training wheels where we can kind of like feel into, oh yeah, totally okay this space here, and it feels like it's easier, like there's a lubricant in the atmosphere to make it desirable, right?
I mean, if I had a choice, I would rather be more often in this little universe.
Right.
The other sucks me into its manifold.
Right. So what can be really beneficial in that? So, for example, my experience, I started falling in love with total willingness to be completely sucked in to every movie and every screen. In other words, any resistance to it is a way to overlook what's always at ease, regardless of the appearance. But as to include what we already have in our bone marrow, in our soul marrow, this option of willingness, there's an immediate softening in the apparent skin line, apparent timeline. And it's like, I'm willing to get caught up in screens and caught up in the movie. It might happen. And so what? So what? I'm willing. And what I started noticing in that willingness, it would turn up the volume of this ease of being. And then there was a little laughter because I would notice also that the volume was already up. It's just a shift in our perception, a shift in what we're emphasizing. So supportive, the willingness.
So that's exact. That's totally, yes.
Yes.
So how can I choose or have the realization that it's already here, already up the volume? How can I have that more often so this is not as important sometimes? I mean, that
Right.
choice goes more here. How I just don't
Yes.
understand why I choose this when this is sometimes more peaceful.
Yes.
Or where is the door in here to get to the back door in this?
I love that. So let's explore a moment where the mind movie feels really strong. Can you feel into a time when that happened?
Right.
So we'll use memory as a way. It's kind of like a DVR, and right now we're looking at the series called Claudia. And so if you were to look through the past, moments where the movie felt strong and where, let's say, the piece of being wasn't noticed. Can you notice a moment?
Well, it's always like in the meditation this morning. There's the peace and there's the chatter.
Right. And so it's noticing if there's any resistance to that chatter. You know, it's like we've been innocently given instructions about silencing the mind, about quieting the mind. We've innocently given a blueprint as to what awakening looks like. And in most paths and cultures, what awakening looks like is a pristine, silent mind, blemishless expanse of silent, still, clear, aware intelligence. No thought in mind, no emotion present.
Kind of an angelic world.
Too bright, right? And to some degrees, that's true. And not, again, what is it that has had a problem with mind? Yes, mind. And this piece of being and the willingness never had a problem with mind. Has never thought mind needed to be any different. Has never had a problem with emotions. All emotions welcome. Never thought emotions should be any different. Has never had a problem with circumstance. Never thought circumstance should be any different. Here, available. In our willingness to allow mind to be as it is and give it its space, as a consequence, we start noticing a curiosity And that's the great outshining of mind, the outshining of emotions, the outshining of appearance. But it doesn't matter if there's an ending or not. This piece still is outshining, only relevant in the context of the intersection of an apparent someone and an apparent vastness. But in this moment, oof, separable. No one here. What's the mic? To no one here.
But that wasn't in the
Thank you,
cards.
Miles.
It's interesting tonight. Usually I don't have any. Usually I like totally, I guess, resonate with the logic that you share.
Fun.
But tonight,
I love it.
I'm
Tell
not.
me, honey, beloved. Tell me, beloved.
I'm not as much.
What's your experience?
It's really interesting. It's not like I'm not emotional about it, but I am noticing a lot of more my analytical brain.
Hi, analytical brain.
Hi. Having a couple of, like, one thing that's saying is like,
yes, what is it saying?
Like I'm kind of like the opposite of you. It's like, yeah, okay, there's this piece here. What good does it do me? I need to go off and do some stuff. Like, I need to take care of business. I need to cook the food. I got to get to the grocery store. I got to make my calls. I got to check on this. I got to pay that bill. I got to get myself, and I'm like, you know what? And you know what else I got to do? I said, I got to get myself to the gym because I'm not really doing that. And I really want to do that. It's like, if I was left to my own devices, just my own perfect little clay devices, I would just be like I was today. I spent the day like watching YouTube videos, basically. I mean, I was very, very unproductive today. So, I mean, I guess I can enjoy like the piece of being in this moment, but there's part of me that's like, yeah, but so I was interested in what you said about this aspect that mind can become the juicy creative thing.
Yeah.
More about that. But then the other thing I'm having a little issue with is this thing of like, because it's a leap. I mean, okay, like the spiritual part of me wouldn't have a problem with it, but my analytical brain is like, yeah, but you know what? Like, you're not me. That sounds like the spiritual thing, like we're all one and everything. But the thing is, like, I don't, but I also find that sorry. But there's also this whole other thing. It's like this deep respect I have for the other, and that meeting the other and having a curiosity for what I don't know, and this reality that they are not me. And I feel like that's an approach that has very beneficial outcomes in my life when I actually don't assume that I share anything in common, even though I might see the appearance of a body that looks human. I don't really know what's going on over here, and you know what I mean. So those are the things, and those are the things that that's what I'm thinking about.
Oh, so very welcome. Can anyone else relate? I mean, beloveds at home. Yeah. What to do?
Because what I thought it's almost like my mind skipped out and I didn't understand it. It was almost like you were suggesting that more awareness and more awareness of sort of the emptiness within all phenomena would lead somehow. That would actually lead the conceptual mind organically transform to being of service rather than being a detriment. Is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah, well, everything is realized and discovered to be of service, to be available, to be in support.
What realizes? The beingness or the mind?
Both.
Both realize. So the mind gets on board with the whole thing, essentially.
it always already is on board
It
with
is. Like,
everything.
it
It
only seems like a
nothing
troublemaker.
can appear. It seems, what is it that thinks it's a troublemaker, though?
Right.
Again, mind thinks it's the troublemaker.
Right. So mind's confused about itself.
Yes, mind is confused about itself. Mind imagine itself. Mind thinks it's real.
Because you think mind thinks it's
Mind
real. Mind
thinks it's something that needs to be fixed.
But
Mind thinks
could
it's something that's too
get on track. Mind could clear up these little confusions.
well,
Potentially.
and none of it be cleared up. And as a consequence, it's like, oh wow, these confusions got cleared up. But it's secondary. As a consequence to getting familiar with the space that allows the weather of mind to be itself.
But what gets familiar with that?
What gets familiar with that? Yeah. In the context of one discovering their nature, it's kind of like, the intersection of vastness and phenomena gets familiar.
Is it like the mind?
Because you get familiar from a space of recognizing. Remember the limitation of language, and I don't want to blame everything on language. Me not saying it right just because of language. It also could very well be that I'm not saying it right.
Right.
So that's always fun too. Yeah. And so, we get familiar. So it's like language, like getting familiar, and was a noticing that, oh wow, I've always known.
Right. But if you say I've always known this,
which I am I talking about? Yeah. Language again.
So
me as
I can
awareness.
be two different things. I can be awareness and I can be mind.
Beloved, for a moment.
Sorry,
Let's take a moment for a moment.
So I'm trying to get
this mind that wants to go and wants to get all the money and wants to do all the things and nothing wrong with that. And I love the invitation to recognize in this option of noticing what's here is that there's only two ways to do anything. You could go and get all the things and make all the appointments and do all the things, but there's only two ways to do anything. One is either in peace and one is in stress. Usually when we don't notice what's here, we're completely in stress and completely in nothing's ever good enough. We never make enough money. We never have enough Grammys. We never have enough alkaloids or alkaloids. We never or alkaloids. We never have enough anything. It's just like such it's so profound. I'm really grateful that, I was in a international boy band when I started noticing this, because I was around a lot of people, a lot of different people on different ends of the spectrum when it comes to, society and abundant. And it was the same suffering. It didn't matter how much someone had or how little someone had. Suffering. If we're in the mind, if we're caught up in ideas of time, identity, and the three, then we're just innocently not noticing, oh my God, I never have to do another thing and all is well. I never have to make another cent and all is well. I never have to say another quotable quote and all is well. I never have to explain this okay and all is well. It's kind of like what I love inviting people to explore. What would accomplishing all the things give you? What does mind imagine accomplishing all the things is going to give you? Yeah, I'm asking you.
When I'm with you, sometimes I really am convinced of this, what you're saying. But the truth is, there's a big part of me that's like, no. I need these external things and I will be happy. I will feel proud of myself. I will feel accomplished. I will feel at peace. I will feel a sense of okayness and all is right with the world when I, do it's like I have trouble if I see somebody else doing something that I want.
Right.
I have trouble like celebrating, like, oh, look at that phenomena over there. It's like, no, it's like, I want what they have, and if I have what they have, I know I'm going to be happy. Linehan, who started dialectical behavioral therapy, she says self-esteem comes from esteemable acts. There is a difference between somebody who sits playing video games 10 hours a day for 10 years and somebody who spent their life like Mother Teresa or whatever. They're going to have different results and feelings. So for me, it's like, it does matter what I do, and it does matter what I get. I don't want the results of the video game. I want the mother. I actually want more like Bill Gates results, frankly. But I mean,
you heard that, universe?
And I want that. I want to live. I oftentimes So I guess what I can't square is that I'm like, am I really authentically here? Because authentically, I'm like, should I just be in like some career boot camp somewhere? Because I think I noticed that it might be true that I want what I want more than I want just to be okay with it.
Are you familiar with that gypsy curse?
No.
May you get everything you want.
No. Curse me. Let me get it. Give it to me. 3 wishes. The last one will be ultimate freedom.
And the good news about that, is that you get... Sure. Yes. Would you like to share?
I'll say whatever was on my mind.
Yay.
Yeah, so, I like that, you say these things about the 3, right? And then you say time. And time for me is a really important one. That was one that's been very important. So I guess I'm just going to share some of my thoughts about this. So I remember I looked into Douglas Harding. Yeah, so the man with no head, right? So it's really interesting because it's pointing out the obvious, right? Like, we imagine, right, that I'm a body, and and that it's really hard to explain, right? But actually, I'm this aperture of consciousness wherein everything appears, right? It's so amazing to just see that that's the reality, and everything is actually inside of this, right? And I am that, which is so wild, right? But it's like, it's so obvious, right?
Yes.
And counterintuitive. What's really interesting for me is that time is the same, right? So the mind, imagines that I am this person within time, right? The person in the future, person in the past, right? But actually, if I look at my present moment experience, I'm never the person in time. Yeah, so that's why I thought it was so
where it's all inside anyway,
Well, it's like,
I don't know too much about Douglas Harding.
No, how you said it. It was like it, but I didn't totally get it.
And
it's all.
That's what my issue is. I don't think it's all like, I think that premise, if it's all this internalist kind of perspective, it's all just my perception occurring as if there's no objective reality. I don't know. I'm not certain that that's, you say it like it's like the spiritual revelation that is absolutely true. And I'm just not convinced of that at all.
For me, I would say that there is. So like, this is just my perspective, right? So like for me, I would say like, absolutely, I am this thing that is not within time. But there is also a thing which I am not, which is in time. But it's not me. If that makes sense.
Well, I guess my like concern is less time, but it's cute. I like that you're enjoying this thing that you just jumped upon. Yeah, about this thing that you are not, that is in time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's like, if we like look back at Advaita, it's it's where they say you're not the doer. You realize that you're not the doer, and the doer is always going to be the doer. You're not the doer. Right.
It's funny. I just took it before coming this 140 question career test to see like what would be like a
Oh,
fitting
what a
career for
wonderful
me.
result.
And the results were like doer. It was 12 of them were doer. It was like doer, 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 doer.
Note to self, beloveds. Next time you go to Satsang, don't 140 career quiz. Just kidding.
I mean, it's one of those things. Again, it sounds good, and yet it's not my experience.
Interesting. And one thing that's saying, I want you all to just notice how that experience, we talk about it's not my experience as if it's like set in stone. And and we don't notice that experience is so based on whatever ledge or view we are standing on in the moment. If we are believing a thought that we imagine is true and that we imagine have all the evidence to back that fact up, that's going to be our experience. That's the flavor of our moment. You know, and second, there's a shift perception. There's a willingness to question that thought, to really tell the truth about it. And the experience is completely different. When we are standing on a concept that we really think is a fact, these are psychedelics, very profound psychedelics. Ayahuasca is no comparison to the psychedelic of a thought that is unquestioned. When we believe a thought that isn't true and we look to the past is completely covered in that concept and that assumption. When we look to the future only takes on the qualities of our uninvestigated assumption. So just to notice that, you know, this thing that we call experience, powerful and not as solid as we think. Not as solid as we think. It's not going to drive our experience life forever and ever and ever. Just a momentary. Yes, love.
You know what I meant from this person. Can you do that?
Oh, yes. Yes, you have no head.
Lead us where we are all in, where everything is from inside.
Well, let's take a moment to notice right now. Here we are, apparently sitting, right? And there's some thoughts here. There's maybe some thoughts here, maybe some thoughts here, and maybe some thoughts here, maybe some thoughts here. You know, to note also the apparent appearance of the room, your perception from where you're sitting. Have these we have descriptions. So all of these are descriptions. Descriptions. Oh, we can each sit here and describe. Or if I give you a little pad and a little pencil, you can sketch out your experience of the room, you know? And so there's descriptions, our story about, you know, our allegiance to story, our allegiance to concepts and words, you know, who told you that you were someone? Who told you that you were on a planet? You know, are these your thoughts? Are these your thoughts, or are they rethunk? Did you borrow them from your mama? Did you borrow them from the crux? Where did you these assumptions, these concepts? Have you taken a look yourself? Have you really seen? When did you give permission for these concepts to apparently be tattooed on your perception? So it's just interesting to notice descriptions, but also notice what is aware of the descriptions right now. So even as we sit here, the description may be different. They're just descriptions, the same. No new, I love how Byron Katie says, no such thing as a new stressful thought. Nowhere, in no dimension, in no culture, there is no such thing as a new stressful thought. And so descriptions, concepts, all descriptions, and there's awareness present. This space of awareness for a moment, instead of emphasizing the descriptions, emphasize awareness. How do we emphasize awareness? By allowing descriptions to be as they are. Not having to be at war with mind, not having to be at war with what we feel. Anything having to do with our sensory apparatus, our five senses, just allowing them to be as they are. Allowing our whole life to be as it is. Allowing the whole world to be as it is, which are also but descriptions appearing in mind. And noticing awareness, this space of awareness, where there's no descriptions. So there's no you description, me description, time description, place description, uh, energy description, experience description, sense of realization description, ignorance description, enlightenment description, pristine, open, undescribed, aware immediacy. Naked, aware immediacy. Headless, aware immediacy. Bodiless, aware immediacy. Roomless, aware immediacy. Identity-less, aware immediacy. Second-less, aware immediacy. Minute, hour, year, decade, century, age, immediacy. And noticing the qualities. Don't ever have to be described, these qualities. In the immediate failure of any utterance, just as is. Just as is. even as descriptions may reappear and thoughts may reappear. Notice the everyday cognizance that doesn't change. Pristine sky like. And descriptions may appear again, and thoughts may appear again, and a sense of someone somewhere may appear again, and the cognizance that you are, the aware, loving, aware intelligence, still here, solid, not diluted. Let's see what poem this moment wants to say. Let's see. Someone can share a number between 3 and 359. 141. All right, where you at? 141. The pulse of the limbs of a tree reached down and lifted me, thinking I was its child. And in the meadow, my spirit becomes so quiet that if I put my cheek against the earth's body, I feel the pulse of God. Tell me the way you do that, birds. Enter the private chambers of my Lord. And they all sang. They just sang. I gathered it was time to become a musician, and I did. Years passed, and the sky reached down one day and lifted me. The birds noticed and spoke. How do you enter the sun like that and know the pulse of God? Another number from 3 to 257. 212. I just laugh. If I told you the truth about God, you might think I was an idiot. If I lied to you about the beautiful one, you might parade me through the street shouting, "This guy is a genius." This world has its pants backwards. Most carry their values and knowledge jug that has a big ass hole in it. Thus, having a clear you know I did. You know I did. Thus, having a clear grasp of the situation. If I anything these days, I just laugh. I just laugh. Just so funny. Another number, 3 to 253 or 257. 2, 3, number 3. All right, just 3. One day he done. One day. One day he did not leave after kissing me. Another number. And it might have the word ass in it. Just a heads up. 8. Ocho. The moment's depth. The moment's depth is greater than that of the future. And from the fields of the past, what can you harvest again? Dried flowers I have from a meadow I laid in with her and moved across her breasts. When I need love's scent, I touch them. A mine with jewels can be the past for the heart. But who goes to an old mine that only made you sad? I have seen a man walk on a high stretched rope, holding a long pole for balance. Memories and dreams can do that too. They can be a great help. The soul does not understand the word seasons. The petals on the sun can only be touched now. The beauty of dried flowers, how can they compare to this? How can they compare to this? The sky gave me its heart. The sky gave me its heart because it knew mine was not large enough to care for the earth the way it did. Why is it we think of God so much? Why is there so much talk about love? When an animal is wounded, no one has to tell it, you need to heal. So naturally, it will nurse itself the best it can. My eye kept telling me something is missing from all I see. So I went in search of the cure. The cure for me was his beauty. The remedy for me was to love. The cure for me was this beauty. The remedy for me was to love. Thank you for considering. Couldn't be sitting here tonight in no way without once considering that you the life that is here, without once considering you can love the mind that is apparently here, or the world that is here, or the future that is here. This love is always in your pocket. This option always available to you. The universe placed this love around your neck like a locket. And each one of your steps, the whole cosmos kisses the floor before each step. May all beings discover, notice, fall on their face at all that is given right now, the generosity of this moment, just as it is. You've already manifested the whole world. Congratulations, bitch. It's not here for no one else but you. Congratulations, bitch. And even bigger congratulations, bitch. Thank you, beloveds, for this time together. So appreciate. So appreciate. What a dream. What a privilege. What a privilege. What an honor. You're welcome to leave a donation if you'd like online, or you can leave some stuff over there in the little blue bottle. And feel free to go to my website. A couple of clients graduate this past week, working together. So beautiful, our time together. If it interests you to explore sessions, self-realization mentorship, that is an option. And you can go to my website, ashruiz.com, to explore that option. And I just thank you for being here tonight and for sharing. Bye, love.